Right now, say I want Josh Taylor and get the Josh Taylor fight because he's age wrong. That's it. So anybody on that pipeline right now, that's a big deal.
I talked his ass, but the same day that James Tony came in and signed the contract.
Wow.
So I'm talking to Bobo on the phones like this. Look, I got Zab on one phone, I got James on one phone.
He's gonna beat Sean. Everybody listen, he's gonna beat Sean. He's gonna beat Sean. He's gonna beat Sean.
Mike Lewis is the perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Let's Talk Sports, y'all. I am your host, aka the Apostle, and we got a lot to get into, a lot to unpack. We're gonna touch on a bevy of sports. You know what I mean? We're gonna touch on a bevy of topics. You know, we're gonna definitely touch on the Jake Paul card. We're gonna touch on the live that happened between Ryan Garcia, Keyshawn Davis, and Shakur Stevenson. Amanda Serrano, the state of boxing right now, the epic knockout that happened with Lucas Prince on Ashton H2O. We got a lot to get into. We got a lot to unpack and all that, but we're going to start. My boxing guys, boxing in DC, what up? All my boxing folks, you got to be patient with me for 1 minute because I got to touch on the WNBA first. You know, in the WNBA, they had their All-Star game, which wasn't going to be a regular All-Star game. This time around, we knew that it was going to be more of it was the U.S. Olympic team versus the WNBA All-Stars. But it also, with the tension that, surrounded the leaving Caitlin Clark and Agent Reese off the team, mainly Caitlin Clark off the team, led to so much hysteria and so much story time that this was going to be an actual real game. So the people that's online all over the place complaining about how, people were being guarded and all that. No, it was a real game. It was an official real game. So, and actually, for those that, and many people said it themselves, the WNBA All-Star game was light years better than the NBA All-Star game. You know what I mean? So with that alone, with that sentiment alone, it gave it to it. They gave it up. It was a great game. Was I completely shocked and stunned to see that the WNBA All-Stars beat the U.S. Olympic team? Absolutely. I was blown away by that. I'd be the first to admit that I was completely caught off guard by that. Did not see that coming at all. Shocked, pleasantly shocked though. But at the same time, it gave credence to, let you know just how talented this league is. But the narrative that's got put out there that the young rookies just ran the old vets. No, the catalysts that won the game were veterans. Now let's get to that, because when we turn on the sports news and all the sports shows that came on today, yes, you should talk about what Caitlin Clark did in the All-Star game. Yes, you should talk about what Angel Reese talked about did in the All-Star game. But how do we just gloss over what Arike Ogunbowale did? Like, she got mentioned. She wasn't discussed. She didn't get a segment on no sports show today. Just mentioned. And that's what's wrong with sports talks today. That's what's wrong with a lot of things. We are being overwhelmed with clickbait, and we're overwhelmed with hot picks, hot takes, and everything, so that we no longer talking about the actual sport anymore. That was always my problem. I don't have a problem with no specific fighter. I don't have a problem with no specific player or team or nothing like that. But we cannot lose sight of the actual game. You have to still talk about that actual game. How do you guys talk about the WNBA All-Star game and only mention Arike Ogunbowale, who completely blew everybody's mind Saturday. If you watch that game, 34 points in the second half, 21 in the third. And that's where the game got blew open. And that's where the game changed. And that's why the WNBA All-Stars won the game. Specifically, the explosion that took place with her in the second half. How do you just mention it? You know what I mean? Sports Center, the only one that even gave her a half a segment, but still, it was still overshadowed by, let's talk about the rookies. Let's talk about the rookies. But let's talk about the rookies. Kayla Clark had 10 assists. Angel Reese did her double-double. Both of these things are significant due to the fact that the level of competition they on the floor with. So now it's no longer a guess. She got a double-double with the best of the best on the court. The best of the best was on the court, and that's what happened. Caitlin got, she didn't shoot her best, but she still had her 10 assists. So what she's became is this. What she's showing everybody is she has an actual real game. She has a complete game. She's going to have to work on different ways to learn how to, score in terms of shooting, because, the better defensive teams are going to be able to, limit her to just assists and not so much scoring. So that part got to be developed. You know what I mean? That's just got to be said. Same thing with Angel Reese. She's a hustler. She's a grinder. She gets to the boards. She's going to get her boards. She has to work on her mid-range and her inside post moves, and then we'll see where they grow from them. But they have potential. They belong on the court. They belong in the game. They've showed that, but they got growth. They got things they got to grow on. Right now, the veterans are the better players. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to say that. You know what I mean? This is what got to happen in that sport. We're going to come back to that because there's a lot to touch on this, but we're going to move over to the sport of boxing. Friday, many might not have seen on Fight Hype and many others. First, let's get the Loma. Loma pulls out of the Durante Tank Davis fight. And that has also led to a great big firestorm on social media all over. You got some people that's like, okay, so what, he ducked Tank this time, but Tank ducked 10 years ago, and so on and so forth, and these things and that other. I don't want to use the word duck no more ever again. We had a debate that was Friday on Clubhouse. I don't even want to use the word duck ever again. We're in an age and a space now where basically these athletes, depending on how big their following is on social media or what kind of fanfare they got, they can pretty much do whatever they want. There's no more standard. There's no more standards in the game no more. You know what I'm saying? There's no more standards in the game. Yes. How are we doing today, sir? Coach Zeus, how you doing today?
Good afternoon, sir. How are we today?
I started it out with the WNBA, but right now I'm touching on the Lomachenko pulling out of the Tank fight and saying, he needs some time off, and he'll come back in December at the earliest and that type of thing. Did you get the word, and what you think about that?
I'm gonna be honest. That was the smartest thing he could have did. He made a business move. He ain't want no parts of that boy. So he did what he was supposed to do. He's supposed to say politically, which translates to, I don't want no parts of that boy, but he did it the way he was supposed to do it. So I'm cool with it.
All right. Then it was a live that we all watched with Ryan Garcia, Keyshawn Davis, and Shakur Stevenson. And the thing about this is because Shakur is starting to pick up his social media presence. And, more, whether it's rants, whether you like it or not, he has now official presence on social media. And Ryan is everywhere. Like, let me tell y'all something, bro. Ryan don't miss. He don't miss. Every single time he either live or on a Twitter space or whatever, he is must-see TV. He's box office. He don't miss.
Oh, yeah, facts.
He don't miss. He's a social media savant, which is what sports has become now. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, this weekend I had I'm going to let you go, but this is what I had the divine head trauma to deal with this week. Not in a good or bad. We had Jake Paul, Ryan Garcia, and Caitlin Clark in the same weekend. And a couple of these things in the same day. And it just shows you now, the sensationalist of the clicks dominate every headline. It dominates every headline. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I saw the crowd. I saw the venue. I seen all the noise that was going on at the Jake Paul fight. I personally was not impressed or elite or even the slightest pleased at the fight. But I'm not going to take away from the powerhouse that he has built himself into. And it's just wild to me that how clicks do this. I'm gonna let you go. I mean, this one, maybe you didn't, did you watch the Jake Paul card?
Hello? I'm talking on mute. My fault. I was talking on mute. Nah, I ain't watch it. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't watch the Jake Paul joint. I have no words about the Jake Paul situation. After I watched the WNBA joint, I had a cookout with some folks, and we just enjoyed the rest of our night. We had somebody who was a casual ask if we could turn it on in the backyard. But they ridiculed him to shame, and he stopped asking about it because we just wasn't trying to see or hear that.
Well, I mean, listen, go ahead.
I will say though, social media presence is something that if anybody wants to make it anywhere in life, you have to have a social media presence. And we see that with Caitlin Clark, Ryan Garcia, and Jake Paul, because as much as you have one side saying one way, like this person is great, good for the country, whatever you want to call it, you have a complete opposite side of an equal manner saying the exact opposite. And before social media, you rarely did you have that both sides equal. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember, a lot of folks were on the bad side of social media we're on the bad side of society for a very long time because of public perception. But had social media been around, we could have seen what it looks like when both of those are equally weighed out. Because you got to remember, a lot of people that don't like Caitlin Clark, for every person that don't like her, is somebody that thinks she's the best thing since sliced bread. For every person that doesn't think that Jake Paul is a boxer, there's somebody that thinks that not only can he beat Mike, but he's also a great promoter. For everybody that thinks that Ryan Garcia is a dirty cheater, but for everybody that thinks Ryan Garcia is a dirty cheater or whatever, there's somebody that thinks Ryan Garcia is something amazing that happened in boxing. So social media is the reason that we now get to see both sides, and both of the sides be equally battling each other. You know what I'm saying?
Here's my thing for everybody. And this is the one thing I'm going to forever say, and what's forever going to be pure over here on Let's Talk Sports. I get we're going to talk about the headlines, we're going to talk about the clicks, we're going to talk about the sensationalism of certain things, but you also have to keep the game first. Keep the sport first. It's exhausting to me. It's infuriating to me. It's disingenuous to me when it's like this. Because of Ryan Garcia's ability to create clicks, hysteria on social media, he can walk in and out of major fight opportunities that people who rightfully earned the right to be there can't get.
Right.
And the same thing can be said for, Caitlin Clark, and the same thing can be said for Jake Paul. Jake Paul can do things that fighters that have worked their entire life and entire careers, and they can't do it.
Right.
They can't do it. Like, this dude literally calling his own shots, bro. He's calling his own shots. He can do whatever he want to do. And the fact of the matter is, for those that say, well, he need to fight this, the problem you got is this: he can fight whoever he wants. He can put together whatever he wants, because as long as I put my name on a billboard outside and the people show up, it don't matter what y'all say. I can fight Jack the Plumber. I can fight Jack the Plumber. And you can get mad I'm fighting Jack the Plumber, but me and Jack about to make a bag. I'm already making my money on YouTube, so I'm never going to lose on the fight.
Right.
Like Jake can get knocked jammed out and wake up and go to the bank. It's not the same.
Right.
But you got fighters who have been diligently working, doing whatever they got to do, and they will never see this. It's nauseating.
You also got to understand, we got to stop looking at Jake Paul like he's the prototypical boxer, because he's not. Okay, Jake Paul when I was graduating college, Jake Paul had 5 million followers on a lot of his social media platforms. And when Vine was about to be destroyed, Jake Paul went from Vine over to YouTube and started amassing his following count. This isn't a boxer that came out of nowhere and everybody's upset at his success. This is a guy that had success in YouTube and turned his YouTube success into a boxing thing, if you will. So you can say he's a terrible boxer. You can say whatever he wants, but this guy went from fighting YouTube guys to fighting, you can call them washed up, retired fighters, whatever you want to call it, whatever his story is. His story is not a prototypical story. So I stopped looking at Jake Paul the way that I look at other boxers, because he's just not that. Now, when he starts to get in there and start mixing it with the other light heavyweights of the WBC, yeah, but I'm saying when he does that, I'll start to look at him like that. But until then, I just look at Jake Paul as the YouTube guy going out here getting money.
He's an entertainer.
Exactly.
And he's using it to his benefit. I'm not mad at nobody. I'm not mad at anybody. I understand it. It's just that when you look at clips, I study algorithms, right? I look at the algorithms before I touch anything. And I look on these algorithms, I see the clicks and I see the things that people are saying. And it's like, wow. Like, for instance, let's talk about this WNBA All-Star game. I was shocked that the US team lost. I was shocked by that. That was a stunner. Like, no, I can't, huh?
I said, I hear you.
That was a stunner. But what I was so taken back by today, right? Because before I went up, I wanted to make sure that I had my talking points together. So I watched all of the sports shows, the get-ups, the first takes, the Undisputed, the Carton Show. I took little clips off all of them, and then whatever they had online. And it was unbelievable to me that Arike Ogunbowale was only mentioned passing. She was mentioned. Didn't get a segment where they talked about what she did, just mentioned. They basically brought out there, the headline said Caitlin Clark leads the WNBA All-Stars to a win over the US Olympic team. And then they went on. And what I'm saying to y'all is this. We're at a place right now where the media and all y'all did your job. Y'all did your job. Now let the game speak for itself.
Right.
Let the game speak for itself. Y'all did your job. The people are here. The money is here. The views is here. Let the game speak for itself. You can give Arike Ogunbowale her flowers, man, because she was the biggest star on the court Saturday. By far. It's not even close.
It was literally her versus Breonna Stewart. And I think Breonna ended with like 31, 32 or something like that, right?
Them blowout buckets.
But listen, but hold on. But listen to what I'm saying, though. Peep the game, though. Because if a certain rookie would have had 34 points and broke one of the records for most points scored in the All-Star game, you know it would have been all over everywhere. The fact that it wasn't all over everywhere, this is the problem that I have with inviting people into the sport that is the WNBA. It's the same problem that you have with inviting people into the sport of boxing. It's a funny story I got to tell you. Just 2 weeks ago, I was at a clubhouse with a bunch of casuals, and somebody came off their mic and said the Devin Haney fight that just happened this year was the most viewed fight ever in the history of boxing. Do you understand what I just said, bro? Somebody was trying to tell me that this Devin Haney-Ryan Garcia fight was the most viewed fight ever in the history of boxing. And let's take into consideration that the top 10 most gross pay-per-views of all time has a specific person in there. It was just the fact that people just so casually jump out there and say things that not only don't make no sense, they're not backed by science, not backed by facts. And this is what we have to deal with now. So for the next couple years, until the next Caitlin comes out, we're going to hear Caitlin do this. Caitlin did that. Caitlin is the first player that put her hair in a ponytail when she got 7 assists. We're going to hear that, bro. You know how it is. They do it with LeBron too, but it's just the thing that Caitlin is the person, so they're going to keep pushing her no matter what. It is what it is. I'm
cool with that. That's the thing. That's right there. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with I'm cool with all the fanfare and the bells and whistles that the rookie's getting. I'm not a problem with that. She had 10 assists. She's played a decent game. Angel Reese had a double-double. Yes, you should highlight these things. You should highlight that, no question. But we saw somebody in Arike Ogunbowale who in the last couple weeks had been torching the whole league. See, we gloss over the fact that just Thursday, her team got the worst record in the league. Just Thursday, that team beat Indiana Fever, and in the fourth quarter, she lit a match to that Indiana team. She went bananas. They put Kelsey Mitchell on her, and she couldn't do nothing with her. And it's clear that nobody in the league can guard her. So I'm not coming at Kelsey because it's clear that this girl Ogunbowale is the goods. So what I'm saying is these people should be able to get their segment.
Facts.
When we watch the game, and we see somebody do something, we should be able to. The people that do these shows, I know you need views, I know you need clicks. Yes, you can mention this person and get your clicks, but don't forget to give this person what they rightfully earned for what they did in the game.
Right, man.
34 points in one half.
Yeah.
See, this is what happened. Everybody that's and I'm gonna get off this WNBA and we're gonna get back to other sports. But here's the thing. Y'all told us before this season started that these women in the league wasn't that good. These women in the league wasn't that talented. These girls was going to come in here. This one specifically was going to come on in here and take over the entire league. That didn't happen because the women in the league can really play. See, y'all didn't know about the Arike Ogunbowale. You didn't know about Aja Wilson. You didn't know about Breonna Taylor Stewart. I'm sorry, Breonna Stewart. AT in Connecticut. It's ballers out there. And night in and night, you got to bring it. So now that you here, appreciate all of them. And don't just keep doing the clicks. Now let's move on to something that I know you want to touch on. This ain't I'm going out of order. This wasn't even one of my topics, but since you here, one of the topics that went on this morning was John Harbaugh said that your man was going to end up in the GOAT conversation.
Yeah, he is.
In the GOAT conversation?
Yeah, he is.
I'm gonna say this.
Listen.
You mean the greatest you mean the greatest running quarterback?
Nah. See, here's what I like about what he said.
You mean the greatest running quarterback, right?
Hold on. He didn't say he was going to be the GOAT. He said he was going to end up in the GOAT conversation, right?
As what? Okay, I'm with you right now. He's going to end up in the GOAT conversation, right?
Right.
But when you say the GOAT conversation, you mean the GOAT conversations of the running quarterbacks?
No. All quarterbacks.
No.
All quarterbacks. Look, bro, we can agree to disagree, right? I love the fact that, and I love that Lamar's whole career is predicated on a lot of times, a majority of the times, and all Ravens fans will tell you this, all Lamar fans will tell you this. Majority of the times that Lamar don't make a completion, it'd be the wide receiver that dropped the pass. The wide receiver be wide open and drop the pass. For the last 4 seasons we've seen, and all we've asked for as Raven fans, but please, can we get some healthy wide receivers? Please, can we just keep a healthy team so that we can just see what Lamar can do when healthy? The first year that Lamar was healthy, all of his wide receivers was healthy. His line was healthy. We only had 3 major injuries to the defense. The first year this happens, and we go 13-4. We win the division. We go and we lose an AFC championship game to the team that inevitably wins the Super Bowl. That's a good 1-for-1 year for a guy that everybody swears is so injury prone and he's so trash and he's so this and he's so that. Let's make things make sense. If Lamar Jackson continues to have just a team around him that can stay healthy and some guys he can throw it to, Lamar can 100% be in the GOAT conversation. He's already got 2 MVPs. He's already got 2 of them.
All right, let me help you out for a minute. See, I'm with you on a lot of what you're saying. Now, if y'all want to say to me that when it's all said and done, he can be in the GOAT conversation of the greatest running quarterbacks ever, I may work with you. The GOAT conversation, that's normally a conversation that between 2 people, right? Now, GOAT conversations, you rarely ever see 2 to 3 people in a GOAT conversation, right? So the GOAT conversation is normally narrowed down to about 1 to 2 people. Like right now, the GOAT conversation, all right, there's 3 people in the GOAT conversation right now, right? It's two really, but one creeping up in there. The two is Tom Brady, Joe Montana, and then right behind Joe, and some people may even got him with Joe or past Joe, is Patrick Mahomes. What is your man going to do to get past them three brothers to even make us say he's in this conversation? How does he get in that conversation? I just want to know.
The same way anybody gets in the conversation. You get the hardware, you get the wins behind it, all that. We're not talking about a guy that's in his 14th year in the NFL and he's chasing, looking for a team that's going to get him to the playoffs. He's still young. He's still figuring out himself now that he's finally healthy to do what he needs to do. We're not talking about a guy that he sucked so bad and then this year he looked average. We're talking about a dude that for majority of his career, he's had nobody to throw it to because everybody's been injured. His line has given up on them when they got injured. In the 1 year, everybody is healthy and clicking on all cylinders. We go 13-4, right? The only people that gave us hell and high water was our own division. We win our division. We go past we beat the Heralds, CJ Stroud, and the rookie coach of the year and everything like that. Then we go and we lose to the guys that the very next game they go and win the Super Bowl, bro. On his first year with that, all right, give me 2-3 years, see what happens. Let's see what the Super Bowl. Let's see what Super Bowl in 2027 look like. Let's see what Super Bowl in 2026 look like. Because I'm telling you right now,
he got to win at least 4. He got to win at least 4
and
to be in a GOAT conversation.
Here's where he gets to slide in. If he beats Pat, 2 AFC championship games, 3 AFC championship games, right? He beats Pat and he wins a Super Bowl or 2, right? You now have a very compelling conversation that Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson ate on each other's dime, and they made it the most compelling AFC situation that we've seen in a very long time. We haven't seen an AFC this compelling since it was goddamn Tom Brady and goddamn Peyton Manning doing what they was doing to each other, which was very great quarterback.
All right, so just so you know, I'm cool with all I'm saying is until we get to the chips, multiple, plural, I ain't entertaining no GOAT conversation until I see the chips. They ain't entertaining that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
We can't.
All right, well, we'll have this conversation in about 10 years. We'll have this conversation and
But do you understand that?
I do understand it. In 10 years, when we have this conversation, Lamar will have a couple. Pat is going to have more than him because I know Pat's going to get some more. And then we'll have a real conversation about what GOATship looks like.
All right. So the next question is back to boxing, y'all. So the question of the day, and it's been floating around for a lot of people, is does Israel, I don't want to say his name wrong, Mazamov, does he have a realistic chance of beating Terrence Crawford?
You know what? You're about to hate me. He actually does. He actually has a chance. With everything that we've seen this year, I'm tired of counting everybody out. With everything that we've seen this year, and all of 2024, I'm tired of counting everybody out. I can't count people out no more. If everybody has a fighter's chance, everybody has a fighter's chance. Do I have my money on Terrence Crawford winning? Yes, I do. But do I think that there's a small possibility that Mazamov could come out here and win, or Terrence Crawford can get robbed of a victory? Yes, I 100% believe that could happen.
Oh, I mean, all right.
Come on, we can see what happened with O'Shaquie Foster, and then you had a guy come up in here and swear up and down that O'Shaquie really lost that fight. So we know this could happen, and I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if next week we get on here and we start talking and we do what we do, and or the week after next and we get to have a conversation. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody came up here and said, "Man, Terrence Crawford got robbed." It is what it is.
Let me say this. Now, I pretty much, I mean, in terms of skill wise, I looked at this guy. I took a real close look at him. Skill wise, he's completely outmatched. Now, the only thing I can think of that can really cause a problem is his size and his strength really that much more than Terrence, and that may be, and does his punching power, generate enough power to really bother Bud. Other than that, skill for skill, it's not even a good fight. But I'm saying I see he's a bigger dude. I see he's allegedly so strong dude, and they're comparing him to like Lou Ferrigno type stuff. But like I said, I need to see does that translate. I don't like his technique. His punches are wide. So, like I said, I do see Bud having a lot of opportunities to take advantage of some things. But is this a fight where Bud's gonna just pretty much have to box because the guy on the other side just hit too hard and coming too ferocious? We're gonna find out a lot about this fight.
And also, we got to know, is this a political statement fight? Is this a fight where the superpowers that be want to make a statement to the rest of the boxing community? You know what I'm saying? And will they use Terrence Crawford as a scapegoat? We've seen it happen before. I'm not confident enough to say that Terrence can just go in there and box and win, because we've seen crazier things happen. We know how this boxing thing goes. If somebody wants to make a statement that's got a lot of money, they will have it so that Terrence Crawford loses, so that they can put him in a position where he needs to fight tooth and nail to do something for them. You scratch my back, I scratch your back situation. We know how this goes. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying there's a real possibility that if it goes to the scorecard, we could all throw our hats in the air, rip our betting tickets up, and say, wow, Terrence Crawford got robbed.
Okay. I mean, that's possible. You know, I don't want that to happen at all. But let's see how it play out.
Right.
Let's see how it play out. Let's see how they go out here and then they play. But to me, I don't see nothing skill-wise that made me say, okay, this dude can really win this fight, other than the fact that he may be just a lot stronger and he may have punching power that could be a game changer. If he don't have game-changing punching power, he gonna be grape juice.
Right, facts. We agree on that. We agree on that. I think if everybody lets the fight be fair, I think Terrence Crawford wins with ease. I think if the politics get involved, though, it gets a little choppy at that point. You know, but I hope Terrence come out and win. I hope his next call out is somebody amazing, or I hope he just sit back and let the chips fall where they may, because 154 is about to get really, really exciting in the next couple of months.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain.
And then what we got to understand is with Boots just doing what he just did, 147 is looking like, is it Boots for the taking, or does somebody feel like because Boots didn't have a quote unquote stellar performance to the casuals, do they think somebody can dethrone him at 147?
Okay. Boots at 147. Boots has I mean, regardless of what people say, he got the stoppage, and if they say it's premature, this, that, and the third, the fight wasn't going to go too much longer after that.
Facts.
That part, when in terms of the Boots is covered, it's still a lot of questions people want to have, but I don't ever see Boots and Terrence ever fighting, so I don't know why we even focusing on that. I think that ship is completely sailed. There's no reason for either one of them to even entertain that fight right now. You know, he's got plenty of stuff to do at 147, and and let Bud continue to do what he's doing at 154. You know, Bud might end up in there with Tim Tszyu or Sebastian Fandor. You never know.
I mean, if Spence get his way, you know, it might be him in there with Spence fighting for some unification.
They not fighting again. That man one and done. Now, if Spence go out there and crush Fandor and make him easy work, yeah, he might lay around and do the Bud fight again. But if he struggle with Fandor, go to the cards.
You know what? I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that and I'm gonna believe, you know, you had somebody up here that was, you know, being Spence corner and all that, and Team Spence and all that and everything. I'm gonna believe the Spence guys. If they're saying that the only reason that Spence lost and the only reason he looked bad was because of the eye situation, the orbital situation, and now he's back and he's better. If those guys are telling the truth, I'm hoping he goes in there with. I hope he goes in there with Sebastian Fandor. I hope he gets him out there in the first 6 rounds, and I hope he calls out Crawford, and we get to see what it really looks like when he's quote unquote healthy. That's what I want to see.
Well, we're gonna get the same. He definitely not winning. I ain't gonna say it's
not gonna be beat as bad, but you know, you the recipe don't change. You know what I'm saying? Spaghetti is spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Okay. What else do we got going on? We're looking at the rest of that card. I wanted to look at the rest of that card because
it's a nice card too. It's a nice card. I'm happy to see your boy Andy Ruiz back. He has
Big Baby Miller.
Yeah, he has a chance to see the thing about this card. A lot of guys could answer a lot of questions on this card. Andy Ruiz can answer. One, is he really even deserve to be fighting again? Two, does he deserve to be in there with the likes of guys holding belts, whether it be interim, world, or super belts? And three, is this just a gimmick for him to get some money? For Big Baby Miller, this conversation is: are you really serious about boxing like you say you are, or are you just doing this to get some checks at this point? You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of questions that could be. This whole card got questions that could be answered, man, from up and down. Even the Pitbull jump got questions to be answered. You feel what I'm saying?
Pitbull versus El Rayo.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I would love for El Rayo to pull it off, man, because I got, that's my guy, but I just think he got a tough fight in front of him.
He do got a tough one, but the thing about Rayo is I feel like Rayo could mix it up and make Pitbull change the trajectory of how he wants to fight him. I think at some point in time, round 4, round 5, they're going to translate Pitbull's corner, and it's going to be like, hey, we got to switch it up. It's not working. I can see that happening. I can 100% see that happening, and that's why I'm saying this card has so many questions that could be answered. This is going to be a really, really good card if everybody shows up to box.
Yeah.
I told you this back in when it was first
Jared
announced.
Anderson.
When the card was first announced, I said, this has the potential to be a top 5 card of the year, top 2 if everybody shows up in boxes. I want everybody to show up in boxes. I want us to, at the end of the year in December, when we're sitting down, drinking eggnog, chilling in the ugly sweaters, I want us to be able to only argue one other fight card with this fight card as the best fight card of 2024. That's what I'm waiting for.
All right, so question on the floor is, what do we think about Jared Anderson fight? All right, it's a lot of rumors going around about this guy that Jared is fighting. He allegedly dropped Usyk in sparring with a body shot. He allegedly, did damage to a lot of other fighters. So it's a lot of things that's been, shared with us about this guy. So if any of it is true, and any of the same errors that we seen Jared Anderson make in the what fight was it? The Charles Martin fight. We see anything close to that, this thing could get very interesting. Very interesting. Big Baby definitely needs to be on his A game. And like I said, we'll find out if any of these lingering things that was hindering him in that Charles Martin fight are still around. So I like that fight. I'm intrigued by that fight.
I'm intrigued by the whole card. I don't think it's going to be no boring card on the fight. I don't think it's going to be no boring fight on the card. I don't think it's going to be. I think from beginning to end, I'm going to be glued to my seat, and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it. And at the end of that night, when we had that conversation, it's going to be a nice little conversation.
Yeah, he said, yeah, I saw. Knocked out a lot of heavyweights out. Knocked out a lot of top heavyweights out that today. I saw that today. I get what you're trying to say. Like I said, man, this kid, this fight could steal the night. This could steal the night. Because, Big Baby going to fight. One thing I'm going to give it to him, he going to try his best to get his opponent out there. He going to come to fight. But, man, you got to know when to hold him. I don't know. Like I said, but I'm definitely locked into that fight. The Andy Ruiz, John, I don't know. Andy might lay around and knock Diaz out. What I just say?
Yeah. No, I think what Andy has a lot to prove. So all this what is it, 2.5 years layoff? It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? I don't even remember. I don't even know if Andy fought after the pandemic. So
Andy fought not that long ago. It's been about a year.
Yeah, he got a nice little layoff. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to answer a lot of questions for us. Does he deserve a comeback story, or do we need to just go ahead and sweep him under the rug and let him be on some Jake Paul stuff? Do he deserve to be at the top of a card or the bottom of a card? We'll find out, after the card is over. But it's not too many times that you see somebody with Andy Ruiz's skill and his size, and you think to yourself, like, oh yeah, this comeback is warranted. Like, it's like, come on, bro, you were supposed to give us this 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
He said, and Ruiz said, fat baby.
I want to see what happens. I need to see what happens with that. I need Andy after he wins and he throws his hands in the air. Go ahead, call out who you need to call out, because if you still got it, we need to see it.
Yeah. What else we got? I forgot. This is a stack card. Andy Cruz on this card. David Morrell on this card. And maybe, we may be able to get David Morrell versus David Benavidez after this and keep things getting shook up. Keep things moving along. Keep things popping. Keep things seasoned. But with that said, my brother, we're going to tap in a little later. But, I definitely had to touch in on a few things. Oh, you know what? Before we get out of here, Charles Haley, 5-time Super Bowl champion, first ballot Hall of Famer, said the other day that he believes the Cowboys should have traded Dak Prescott. No answers?
For who? That's my question. For who?
For who is this? He said basically he could have shaded them to Atlanta or one of them other teams that would have took a QB, and either you drafted one or you start, or use the people you got. I mean, he said the same thing I pretty much said. Man, I don't have there's nothing against him. It's nothing against the guy. It's nothing against the guy, but you can't pay that kind of price tag and not show up. You know what I'm saying? You get me? Like, I'm like everybody, people think I'm crazy. Like I said, I would have been content if we would have started this year off with Trey or Cooper Rush. And people say, before you get it, yes, Dak better than them. No question. He's better than them. But where are we going with him? You know what I'm saying? Where are we going with him? We're not even going to the NFC Championship game with him. We know we're not going to the Super Bowl with him. So what's the hysteria?
Was it his fault that y'all lost to Jordan Love?
No.
Okay, so why are we making him the issue and saying we not doing this with him when it wasn't even his fault why y'all lost?
Check this out. 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. In the playoff losses that ended our season. 2 years in a row, your defense, special teams, everybody around you played good enough for us to get the W. You didn't finish the job. Both of them 49 losses, you didn't finish the job. You was in the huddle like, I'm Batman. So, no. These facts, bro. You know what I'm saying? These facts.
Hey, man, I understand. Totally understand. I get
You know
it.
what I mean? You had multiple opportunities to put it away. You just didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what Charles Haley said. I thought it was interesting because I said the same thing. Everything Charles Haley said, I said. So I thought it was amazing. I thought it was unbelievable. So hold on, got a question. He said, so if you go with Trey or Rush, that's going to push y'all back at least 2 to 3 years. I don't know how. Keeping Dak may push us back 2 or 3 years. So, I mean, here's the thing. This is the point I'm trying to make. With the way the team is constructed right now, the fact that he had these great big contracts that he had to take care of, CD, Micah, and whatever, and the number one thing holding everybody up is Dak's contract. Well, like I said, Cooper Rush 6-1 as a starter. Yeah, every time he started, we won except one game. Now, do I think he could do that over every team and keep doing it for a whole season? No. But again, in a season where we wasn't going to go, but so far with my starting quarterback, why I'm going to pay him all this extra money just to get the same result? You got to start somewhere. See, Dak wins y'all the NFC East. Without him, y'all don't get more than 8 games. I mean, I disagree with that. The year he got hurt for that 5-game stretch, Cooper Rush went 4-1. He didn't win that one game that year that Cooper Rush would have lost. So now this year playoffs, it wasn't his fault. The whole team fell apart. But he showed that. Let me tell you something. When you hold out for these great big mega contracts, right? When you hold back, that's true. When you hold out for these big mega contracts, 2 people on the team did it, and I hold both of them accountable. Dak and Zeke. Get your money, homie. No problem. Get your money. But when you get these mega contracts, you're saying to everybody that when we can't go out and overload on talent like some of these other teams that's getting ahead that's doing, and all that fails, you supposed to be able to get us through. The defense was top 5, forcing pick 6. When the defense ain't do it, Cooper was dumping juice. He lost 1 game. In all the games he started, he only lost 1. To the team that went to the Super Bowl at that. He lost 1 game, bro. Cooper Rush is a complete is just a game. Cooper Rush is just a game manager. Point blank, period. He manages the game. You know what I mean? You go out on the field, you say, I need 2 field goals, he gets you 2 field goals. That's it. That's what he does. See what I'm saying? He's a game manager. But see, when Dak was gone them 5 weeks, it showed that the coaches knew how to manage the game. Because the Cooper Rush didn't just beat anybody. He beat Joe Burrow. He beat Matthew Stafford. They weren't just regular wins. They was beating playoff teams in them wins. He wasn't just beating anybody. He was, you know what I'm saying? So he managed the games. The point is, some of the games that Dak lost, he lost it for no reason. That's the problem. He lost the game for no reason. See what I'm saying? We was in San Francisco, y'all. We was in San Francisco. The defense held the San Francisco 49ers the offense with Debo. Let me say y'all something. I'm just gonna paint this picture, and then you can go off, Zeus. In that game, in that San Francisco game, right? It's Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuels, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. In 3 quarters, they had 9 points. We had a 6th-round rookie on Debo Samuels for that entire game. See what I'm saying? And they had 9 points in 3 quarters. Dak had 2 picks in that game. 2 crucial picks. One pick was one where we was already in field goal range. They had just knocked Tony Pollard out the game with the ankle thing or whatever. We had the 10-yard line, 2nd and 3. He comes out there. Zeke is wide open in the flat. He throws in the double coverage and kills the whole drive. The defense in that game gave him the ball 3 times, my friend. 3 times on the San Francisco side of the field. He got 1 field goal. For $200 million, $250 million, that ain't good enough. I'm sorry. You got to bring it home. When your defense gave you the keys to the car and said, take us home, and you can't do it, there's nothing else you can tell me. There's nothing else you can show me. I watched this happen. You go ahead. The team lost the game. It ain't just that. No, but that's the problem. Yes, this year the team did lose. This year the whole team lost. This year the whole team lost. The 2 previous years to the 49ers, Dak lost. That's the difference. Go ahead, Zoo.
I don't think we're gonna see eye to eye for this one. I just think that I hear everything that you're saying. I'm here with Dak. I'm riding with Dak. You know what I'm saying?
Ride with him.
Any opportunities to get rid of him? Yeah, I chose not to. I'm just gonna stick with what it is. This is what it is. You know.
Man,
That's
listen.
all I gotta say about it.
Matthew Stafford. Jared Goff, right? Carson Wentz. right? They got drafted in the same draft, right? Correct?
You're right.
They either one of them still with their original team?
Nah.
Okay. Neither one of them. Right? And Philly, and the difference between both of their situations is this. Both Jared Goff and Carson Wentz made it so their team could go to the bowl. Now, Carson Wentz got hurt. Nick Foles finished the job, but that's still Carson Wentz put the legwork in to put him in that position.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And then Jared Goff made it to the championship game, and made it to the Super Bowl. And last year he was in the championship game with a brand new team. He got kicked off his team and went and took another team to the championship game.
Right.
Look, do I feel that the front office gave Dak the perfect team to do it every single time? No, but you have more than enough. You had the components to get it done. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a Dak hater. I love Dak Prescott. But let me say this. These are facts. And I'm a Cowboy fan because I got I got people that come from my throat on in my DMs and all that. They try to like, one dude like, man, you just hate the Cowboys. I say, fool, I'm a Cowboy fan. What you talking about? Die hard. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. He said neither one of those quarterbacks are better than Dak. How do you say Dak is better than Jared Goff? Make me any kind of argument. I want anybody right now to make me an argument. How do you make an argument that Dak better than Jared Goff? How? He went to the Super Bowl with his original team. He got traded because they said he wasn't good enough. He got traded to Detroit because they said he wasn't good enough, and he just took Detroit to the championship game. And it's not his fault that they didn't go to the Super Bowl. It ain't his fault that they didn't go to the Super Bowl. See, this is the difference. And people brought this up too. They said, well, why do you don't hold Tony Romo to the same thing? See, here's the thing. When Tony Romo got to that divisional round playoff game, he came to the line of scrimmage. It was 4th and 1 and said, I'm going for the whole thing. He threw the ball to Dez Bryant, and Dez Bryant caught it. It's not Tony Romo's fault that it got overturned. See, if Dak did that, I wouldn't say a word. If Dak did that, I wouldn't say a word. He was carried by Todd Gurley and the Rams defense. Okay, cool. Then they got rid of him. They said he wasn't good enough. They said he wasn't good enough to get him over the hump. Okay, then he went spun the block, and he was a play or two away from going to the Super Bowl this year, buddy. Explain it. See what I'm saying? You can say what you want about what he did with the Rams, but then he spun the block. He spun the block and came back. Put the Rams out the playoffs this year. He put them out. Come on, bro. Listen, it's something about the bright lights that this kid don't like. It's something about the bright light that this kid don't show up. It's that. He can show up in the first round. Every now and again, Dak will show up in a wild card game or something like that. It's that divisional round game that everything come apart. Everything come apart in that divisional round game for some odd reason. Or whenever he see the 49ers. Whenever he see the 49ers, he just ain't there. He can't think, he can't throw, he throwing the ball to people that ain't looking. I mean, it's that. Listen to me. And you've been doing, and King Gambit, you've been doing this for a long time. This whole Dak part. I think you doing it. I think you holding Dak up because you like clowning the Cowboys. I don't believe you. But let me say this. He said, well, technically Calvin Johnson caught the ball, so y'all shouldn't have even been in Green Bay. What? Hey man, I think you confused, man. I think you confused the two different things. Calvin Johnson catch was a regular season game against Chicago. They had nothing to do with us. But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna make this last point to y'all because we gotta get out of here. I'm gonna make this last point. Y'all do realize, right? Like I said, I'm a Cowboy fan, and my number one priority for the Cowboys is just to find a way to get a chip or at least make it to a championship game, or go down, look like you're making some type of progress, so we can look like we get back to our prosperous ways. Now, let me say this: Dak Prescott is the only quarterback in NFL history Not the only Cowboy quarterback, the only quarterback that has ever played the game that can sit down and say he's had the #1 offensive line in the league 4 times. The voted, unanimous, best offensive line in the league 4 times. He's had the leading rusher in the league twice. And a top and had the #1 rushing attack in the league 3 times. He's had a defense that led the league in turnovers and sacks twice. And the only person that can say that and never won a Super Bowl is Dak Prescott. It's never been a quarterback that had that in the history of the league. And we'll tell you who broke that down to me. The Cowboy insider himself, Brian Broaders, broke that down. But there's never been a quarterback in the history of the league that can say that. So stop selling me the Dak apologists. Leave me alone. Those are facts. Go ahead, Coach.
Oh no, this y'all thing. I've already said that.
You hear me, bro? Those facts, bro. Those are facts.
Yeah. I don't argue. I don't argue facts. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to that. I'm gonna say
What? So listen, especially when I'm watching the dude. Listen to me, for crying out loud. I'm watching the dude that won back-to-back Super Bowls. We don't even know his #1 wide receiver.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes went to the Super Bowl with Juju Smith-Schuster at his #1. Last year, his #1 was Valdez Scantling. The dude that caught the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl, they got picked up in free agency by the Jets. They kicked him off the team midway through the season. Said he's not manageable. They picked up what's my man named McCole Hartman. They picked up McCole Hartman off on the side of the road, brought him back home, and he's the one that caught the game-winning Super Bowl. Travis Kelce is a tight end, my brother. Travis Kelce is a tight end. Try again. That's a tight end. So if you telling me that, and if you want to run with that, that's fine. So you telling me that though I had a quarterback that had Amari Cooper, my bad, that I had a quarterback that had Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, 2 running backs, and a defense that led the league in sacks and turnovers, and couldn't even make it to the championship game. And you're telling me about a guy who only had 1 tight end? Make it make sense, bro. Tight end is all he needed. Give me any receiver combo and a tight end, and we going to the boat. His running backs regular. His running backs are regular. That's all I'm saying, baby. He got the light this year, and it's gonna happen again. Cowboy Nation, let me tell you how this is gonna go. See, everybody's picking the Cowboys to have a bad season because of the ratchet, raggedy offseason that we have. Because this offseason has gone as worse as it could possibly go. So what's gonna happen is this: we're gonna come out in the season. We're gonna look a little bit better than people think. Y'all lost to the better teams and coaches. Stop. When you got them type of matchups, talent for talent, and your team is just as talented as the other team, you gotta find a way to get it done, bro. You gotta find a way to get over the hump. You know what I'm saying? You gotta find a way to get over the hump. You gotta find a way to get past that. You know what I'm saying? He has to. Like I said, I will jump through the ceiling. I hope y'all right. Maybe y'all right. He's the guy. And he comes up, and somehow, some way, this year we get to the playoffs and the light turn on. But I'm not sitting here campaigning to pay somebody $250 million to do the same thing he did for the last 8 years. Not a fan of that. So I'm gonna close this thing out, y'all. Listen, if you have not, please like, subscribe to the Let's Talk Sports, y'all YouTube channel, Facebook channel, and IG, as well as, and all of these is either Let's Talk Sports or AK the Apostle. Also, you know, we are always looking for sponsors, because we do have in studio and out of studio platforms. We also have, you know, different things that, you know, y'all might want to check out. We're looking for sponsors, always looking for donations. You know, the Cash App is in the ticker. But, you know, like I said, we appreciate all y'all. Like I said, you get a chance, please like and subscribe to the channel. That's the bare minimum. You know, got a video with my man Joey Bless on the Genetics YouTube channel. And we got some other things popping up. But look, always put the game first. Always put the game or the sport first. Put the sport first. Boxing comes first. Football comes first. The NFL comes first. The WNBA comes first. We can talk about all like the clicks and all that, but then break it down. Talk about the game. When somebody deserves their flowers, give it to them. Like in the WNBA All-Star game, Arike Ogunbowale deserves her flowers. 34 points in one half, 21 in one quarter. What? I should have seen a love fest for her all over social media. You know what I mean? Yes, the game is safe with them young girls. Clark is the real deal. AR Angel is the real deal. But Arike Ogunbowale is a problem. And she proved to everybody. And then they kind of found out this is the second time she torched the Olympic team. She torched them before. And for those that want to put the narrative out there that you know that she was held off the team, no, Arike Ogunbowale was on the Olympic team, but she decided to withdraw from the Olympic team because for politics and whatever. And we can see why, because clearly she should have been a starter on the U.S. Olympic team. And they probably didn't want to because they was going to put somebody in front of her that wasn't better than her. And she wasn't going for that. And she decided not to go, and she decided to torch them in the All-Star game. You could clearly see that. Clearly that she's, like they say, the best ball. Like, yo, she been cooking all year. If you've been watching, for those that watch the WNBA like I do, I watch, I pay attention. So the Dallas Wings, they got the worst record in the league. But if you look at them, she been filet mignon. They losing, ain't because of her. She baking. She's out there baking stuff. So yeah, keep a lookout, man. Listen, this second half of the WNBA season gonna be something. Oh yeah, shout out to my man Jamal Harvey, who's Jamal Harvey. The next couple of days, the opening ceremony for the Olympics. DMV zone. He will be going for the Olympic gold. So yeah, definitely keep your TVs and everything on. And I'm definitely going. I can't tell y'all what we got going on. I'll tell y'all about that later. But yeah, be on the lookout for Jamal Harvey at the Olympics. DMV zone, the #1 amateur in the nation, going for the gold on the U.S. Olympic team. With that being said, we're gonna get out of here. Thank y'all so much for tapping in the Let's Talk Sports, y'all, and we out.